Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paripacharya Stota Saraswata Sri Sri Mad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Sahe Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Muna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Naranayam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayasa bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavaduttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 46, Text 4. Taman manaska mat prana mat arte chakta dahika mameva daitam prishtam atmanam manasagata ye chakta loka dharmascha mat arte tan pibarmyaham. It's a little longer than the regular verses. Taman manaska mat prana mat arte chakta daihika mameva daitam preshtam atmanam manasakataha ye chakta loka dharmascha madarte tan pibarmyaham. Taman manaska mat prana madarte chakta daihika mameva daitam preshtam atmanam manasagataha ye chakta loka dharmascha madarte tan pibarmyaham. Please chant. Te chakta daihika mameva daitam preshtam atmanam manasagataha chakta loka dharmascha itam manaska mat prana daitam preshtam atmanam manasagataha ye chakta loka dharmascha. Ta, they the gopis. Mat, absorbed in me. Manaskaha, their minds. Mat, fixed upon me. Pranaha, their lives. Madarte, for my sake. Jakta, abandoning. Dahikaha, everything on the bodily platform. Mam, me. Eva, alone. Daitam, their beloved. Preshtam, dearmost. Atmanam, self. Manasagataha, understood. Yea, who the gopis or anyone. Jakta, giving up. Goloka, this world. Dharma, religiosity. Cha, and. Madarte, for my sake. Tan, them. Bibarmi, sustain. Aham, I. Translation. The minds of those gopis, this is Krishna speaking to Uddhava, the minds of those gopis are always absorbed in me, and their very lives are ever devoted to me. For my sake they have abandoned everything related to their bodies, renouncing ordinary happiness in this life, as well as religious duties necessary for such happiness in the next life. I alone am their dearmost beloved, and indeed their very self. I personally sustain such devotees, who for my sake give up all worldly duties. Please repeat. The minds of those gopis are always absorbed in me, and their very lives are ever devoted to me. For my sake they have abandoned everything related to their bodies, renouncing ordinary happiness in this life, as well as religious duties necessary for such happiness in the next life. I alone am their dearmost beloved, and indeed their very self. I personally sustain such devotees, who for my sake give up all worldly duties. Purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Here the Lord explains why He wants to send a special message to the gopis. According to the Vaishnavacharyas, the word daihikaha, related to the body, refers to husbands, children, homes, and so on. The gopis loved Krishna so intensely that they could think of nothing else. Since Sri Krishna maintains ordinary devotees engaged in sadhana bhakti, devotional service and practice, He will certainly maintain the gopis, His most exalted devotees. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Tika on this verse. These gopis have their minds fixed on me, Mat Manaska. I am their very life, Mat Prana. They have given up all bodily connections, such as husbands, sons, mothers, fathers, sleeping, eating, drinking, etc. Tyakta Daikaha. They think of me not as their husband, but as their beloved, Daitam. Not only as their beloved, but as the dearmost. Not only am I the dearmost, but they think of me as their very selves, and as the Paramatma. As I, their soul, am living here in Mathura, they believe that their souls have left their bodies, and only by the power of my Yogamaya energy are they still living. I protect those devotees practicing sadhana bhakti who give up all considerations of etiquette for my sake. What to speak then of these gopis? Jiva Goswami writes, in regards to delivering the message to the gopis, first he describes the gopis' general condition in order to then speak of the cause by describing their particular condition in 2 verses. Through 3 descriptive phrases, he says that except for him, they are indifferent to the unlimited goals of Dharma, to their bodies, and to other people. Concerning their bodies, they have given up husbands, children, eating and drinking. They have dedicated their minds to me. Thus they have no interest in external sense enjoyment. They take me as their very life. Thus they have no interest in internal objects of enjoyment. It is said, Bhoktritve sukha dukhanam, purusham prakrite param. They say that Atma, superior to Prakriti, is the cause of enjoyment and suffering of the jiva. Srimad Bhagavatam, I think it's missing the canto. Anyways, thus Mad Arte for me indicates that since all material enjoyment is ultimately caused by Atma, they have become indifferent to Atma, their selves. The cause of their sacrifice is then stated. They take me as their beloved in their minds. They do not take external objects as dear. More than that, they take me alone as most dear, Prishtam. They do not take internal objects such as prana as dearest. Since in my absence they have no interest in these things, they take me alone and not their own atmas as their dearest self, since in my absence they consider their atmas completely vacant. They experience no pleasure within their atmas for any other being in my absence. By these three phrases, he indicates to Uddhava that they take Krishna alone as their husband. They do not consider those who are said to be their husbands to be their real husbands. The gopis will say, Api bata madhu puryam arya putro dunaste. It is indeed regrettable that Krishna, our husband, resides in Mathura. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-21. This line is included in many versions, but Sridhar Swami does not seem to accept it since he does not explain the difficult phrase Arya Putraha. I will support those persons who give up regard for Dharma and people who surrender to me. This is a general statement, including not only the gopis, to express his obligation to support anyone without regard for their qualification if they renounce for his sake. The word cha indicates the gopis who have given up even their lives for him. Or man manaska can mean those who are in my mind at all times. Mat prana means those who are my life, since they have given up everything related to their bodies. The cause of giving up everything is stated. They take me as most dear, as their very selves. If I am obligated to anyone, yea, who renounces for me, what to speak of the gopis? Though I am the object of meditation for Brahma, I support them within Bibarmi, or meditate on them. Adi Purana says, Bhakta mamanaraktascha kati santi na bhutale, kinto gopijana pranadika piryatamo mama. There are many devotees and persons attracted to me on earth, but the gopis are dearer to me than my life. Because their suffering enters my mind, I always feel pain. Or I protect even those whom the gopis reject, such as their husbands, those nourishing their bodies by eating, and those women who are chaste and shy. Thus I should protect the gopis. I'm just going to read the translation again. The minds of those gopis are always absorbed in me, and their very lives are ever devoted to me. For my sake, they have abandoned everything related to their bodies, renouncing ordinary happiness in this life, as well as religious duties necessary for such happiness in the next life. I alone am their dear most beloved, and indeed their very self. I personally sustain such devotees who for my sake give up all worldly duties. Om Jnana Timrandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Hey Krishna Korana Sindho Dino Bando Jagapate Gopesha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Dhruvischa Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Morning, everyone. Just going to pray to Radha Golokananda and Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, that I can say something pleasing and beneficial to the Vaishnava. So we've begun a new chapter where Krishna is sending Uddhava, one of his most trusted friends and advisors, to deliver a message to the gopis and the other residents of Vrindavan who are in much distress, anxiety over Krishna leaving and being somewhere else, not with them constantly. And in this verse, we can see that Krishna obviously recognizes how much love how much love the gopis have, and how absorbed they are in Krishna. So I was going to read a little bit from the Krishna book to get us up to speed in there. Is it okay? So in this chapter, it kind of begins carrying over from the last chapter, kind of trying to come to terms with how Krishna can leave Vrindavan and go to Mathura and not stay in Vrindavan, how to, how to come to a conclusion on that. So I'll read a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole part, but since Krishna had departed from Vrindavan and gone to Mathura, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, especially Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, and the cowherd boys, were simply thinking of Krishna at every step. They were thinking, here Krishna was playing in this way, here Krishna was blowing his flute, Krishna was joking with us in this way, and Krishna was embracing us like this. This is called Leela Smarana, and it is the process of association with Krishna most recommended by great devotees. Even Lord Chaitanya, when he was at Puri, enjoyed Leela Smarana association with Krishna. Those in the most exalted position of devotional service and ecstasy can live with Krishna always by remembering his pastimes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a transcendental literature entitled Krishna Bhavanamrita, which is full with Krishna's pastimes. Exalted devotees can remain absorbed in Krishna thought by reading such books. Any book of Krishna Leela, even this book, Krishna, or our teachings of Lord Chaitanya, is actually solace for devotees feeling separation from Krishna. That Krishna and Balaram did not return to Vrindavan can be adjusted as follows. They did not break their promise to return to Vrindavan, nor were they absent, but their presence was necessary in Mathura. In the meantime, Uddhava, a cousin brother of Krishna's, came to see Krishna from Dwarka. He was the son of Vasudev's brother and was almost the same age as Krishna. His bodily features resembled Krishna's almost exactly. After Krishna returned from his teacher's home, he was pleased to see Uddhava, who happened to be his dearmost friend. Krishna wanted to send him to Vrindavan with a message to the residents to pacify their deep feelings of separation. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Yayata mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. Krishna is very responsive. He responds in proportion to the devotee's advancement in devotional service. Thus, as the gopis were thinking of Krishna in separation 24 hours a day, so Krishna was always thinking of the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and the other residents of Vrindavan. Although he appeared to be away from them, he could understand how they were transcendently aggrieved, and so he immediately wanted to send Uddhava to send them a message of solace. Uddhava is described as the most exalted personality in the Vrishni dynasty, being almost equal to Krishna. He was a great friend of Krishna's, and being the direct student of Brihaspati, the teacher and priest of the heavenly planets, he was very intelligent and sharp in decision. Intellectually, he was highly qualified. Krishna, being his very loving friend, wanted to send Uddhava to Vrindavan just to study the highly elevated, ecstatic devotional service practiced there. Even if one is highly elevated in material education and is even the disciple of Brihaspati, he still has to learn from the gopis and the other residents of Vrindavan how to love Krishna to the highest degree. It was Krishna's special favorite Uddhava to send him to Vrindavan with a message for the residents there, which was meant to pacify them. Lord Krishna is also named Hari, which means one who takes away all distress from the surrendered souls. Lord Chaitanya states that there cannot at any time be a worship as exalted as that realized by the gopis. Being very anxious about the gopis' grief, Krishna talked with Uddhava and politely requested him to go to Vrindavan. Shaking Uddhava's hand with his own hands, he said, "My dear, gentle friend Uddhava, please go immediately to Vrindavan and try to pacify my father and mother, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Devi and the gopis. They are grief-stricken as if suffering from great ailments. Go and give them a message. I hope their ailments will be partially relieved. The gopis are always absorbed in thoughts of me. They have dedicated body, desire, life, and soul to me. I am anxious not only for the gopis, but for anyone who sacrifices society, friendship, love, and personal comforts for me. It is my duty to protect such exalted devotees. The gopis are the most dear. They always think of me in such a way that they remain overwhelmed and almost dead in anxiety due to separation from me. They are keeping alive simply by thinking that I am returning to them very soon." So, in this verse, and in this, summary in the Krishna book, from Krishna's own mouth, we can see that he is indebted to his devotees, specifically the gopis here. And they may be on a different, a unique level, but by Srila Prabhupada's inconceivable mercy, we have the chance to follow in their footsteps and be the servants of the gopis, or the servants of the servants of the servants of the gopis. So one of the main points I got from this verse was that the key to Krishna consciousness is being Krishna conscious 24/7, always being absorbed in whatever way that is, whether it's doing temple seva, thinking about Krishna, most importantly, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And in addition to that, we have all these books that are translated by Srila Prabhupada painstakingly, night and day, practically 24 hours a day. He was engaged in translating literature just so we can be absorbed and understand what we're doing here, how to get out of here, how to serve Krishna, how to please Krishna. And also we have tons of lectures, video, audio, and now we have the second generation of devotees who've had experience with Prabhupada and their experiences and with him and in growing in Krishna consciousness. So we can't exactly be the gopis, but we can learn from all these things how to follow in their footsteps. And one thing that stuck out for me in whose purport was it? In Jiva Goswami's commentary, it was Krishna saying that he's feeling pain. Because their suffering enters my mind, I always feel pain. And we never really think about Krishna's pain, because we're thinking Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, who is always blissful in Vrindavan, enjoying with his devotees and his associates, which is true. But also he's feeling pain for all the devotees who are covered over in the material world, just going through this cycle, life after life, millennia, time, from time immemorial. So he's actually feeling pain and suffering and separation from us. And when you put that into perspective, it's like, if you really love someone, you don't want them to feel pain. You don't want them to feel anxiety and separation. And then also in particular, I was thinking of a verse that came to mind from Bhagavad Gita. 9:34. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evasyasi yukvaivam atmanam mat parayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So that's also Krishna saying again, just being absorbed in Krishna, however that may be. And again, specifically the Maha Mantra is our tool for this age and these literatures. Then we will surely return to Krishna and be absorbed in Krishna consciousness in this life. And in the purport here, I think it mentions Krishna being in pain as well. Oh no, actually, that's from this is from a lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavan that Prabhupada gave in 1975. And it mentions Krishna in pain and how to relieve that pain. So I'll read a little bit of that here. This is the principle that you cannot keep men in their impious activities at the same time he becomes a religious or God conscious. That is not possible. That is not possible. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has prescribed a very easy method to become pious. That is the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The real disease is within our heart. Hridroga Kama. Hridroga Kama. We have got a disease, heart disease. What is that? Kama, lusty desires. That is called Hrida Roga Kama. So we have to cure this heart disease, Hrid Roga Kama. And that will be done simply by chanting and hearing the Hare Krishna mantra, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The heart is all right. but it is covered by the material dirty things, namely the three gunas, sattva, raja, tama, gun. But by hearing simply Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, he will be purified. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhaga. If we take this opportunity, we are opening centers all over the world just to give the people this opportunity. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Anartha Upashamam Sakshat Bhakti Yoga. Then as soon as the heart is cleansed by hearing about Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that Yare Deka Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. This Srimad Bhagavatam is also Krishna Upadesh, because by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll be interested in Krishna. Upadesh about Krishna. That is also Krishna Upadesh. And the Upadesh instruction given by Krishna, that is also Krishna Upadesh. So this is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that you go and preach and make propaganda about Krishna Upadesh. This is Krishna consciousness movement. We are teaching all our men how to spread Krishna Upadesh, how to spread Krishna consciousness. Then Anartha Upashamam Sakshat. Then all the unwanted things he has contaminated will be finished. Then pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is Krishna consciousness. Pure consciousness means to understand that I am very much intimately connected with Krishna as part and parcel, just like my finger is very intimately connected with my body. Intimate. If there is a little pain in the finger, I become so much disturbed because I have got intimate connection with this finger. Similarly, we have got intimate connection with Krishna and we are fallen. Therefore, Krishna also feels little pain, and therefore he comes down. Harit Ranaya Sadhunam Vinasaya Cha Duskritam Dharma Samstapanartaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. Krishna is feeling pain, so you become Krishna conscious, and Krishna will feel pleasure. That is Krishna conscious movement. So it's like a mixture of nerves and excitement. I get excited about like realizing things, and then I can't speak. And then I get nervous, and then I can't speak. It's amazing. But anyways, we're part and parcel of Krishna. And as soon as we realize that, like as Prabhupada's saying, like a finger, you cut the finger off, it's useless. But if it works in conjunction with the body, it does so many wonderful things. It can feed the body, it can, obviously, a hand can do so many things. But just like that, if we can connect with Krishna all the time, whether it be service or remembering, then we're golden. I say that every class. I don't know why I say that, but we're always golden if we just stay with Krishna and Prabhupada. And also, I was just remembering, I heard a devotee saying the other day, not to overthink or not to think too much, because I do that too. In preparation for the class, you just start overthinking, or for any service, sometimes you just overthink things too much about how to do it the right way, if it's doing it shastrically or by the T or by the rule. And we can see with the gopis that doesn't matter. They're so absorbed and so concerned about Krishna and his pleasure, and it's just all-encompassing that it doesn't even matter. When the rasa dance happens, or even when Krishna goes to all these other places, and specifically the women of the town will come out, and everybody's so absorbed, they're like disheveled, half-dressed, they're leaving whatever, important thing they're doing, whether it's like feeding their child or doing something for their husband. And that all goes out the window. And the reason I bring that up is, for some reason I was thinking that sometimes devotees, they think too much and they don't do service. Just do the service. Don't think too hard about it. Just go with it. And if you make an offense, you just apologize and, sorry, Krishna, please forgive me, help me learn. But take advantage of the service. Take advantage of the opportunity, because that's what's going to be purifying. And that's what's, at least for me, that's what has been purifying. Going above and beyond and just doing the service. Don't worry so much. Of course, you keep that in mind. But just, just be Krishna conscious. Just do service. Whether it's in the temple, come here and do it. Or if it's at home, just, still remain in that consciousness. And you're gold. Does anybody have any questions, comments? I guess okay. Well, thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Kanvanta Maravindanalaya Taksham Marhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Yasa Sakalem Priti manti Vasyanti panti kayanti Chiram naganti Ananda chinmaya sadhu Jala vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulakasari Hari Hari Kabe Nitai Chande Karuna Hoive Samsara Basana Mora Kabe Tusha Hoive Nitai Chande Samsara Basana Mora Kabe Tusha Hoive Vishaya Chariya Kabe Suda Hoive Man Kabe Hamahira Boshi Vrindavan Acharya Kabe Juda Highway Man Kabe Hamahira Boshi Vrindavan Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hamabuja Bose Yugala Purity Natha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hamabuja Bose Yugala Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Moras Pratana Kore Sada Naratamadas Raghunatha Patana Kore Sada Naratamadas Gauranga Bolite Have Pulakasari Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Bahaveni Ranga Bolite Have Pulakasari Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Bahaveni Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya, Giri Govardhan Jaya, Giri Govardhan Jaya, Giri Govardhan. Govardhan Jaya, Giri Govardhan Jaya, Giri Govardhan Jaya. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Opportune moment come to me when I shiver upon chanting the name of Lord Gauranga. When will I cry while chanting Hare Krishna? When will I receive the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda so that my desires for material enjoyment become insignificant? When will my mind be purified of material anxieties and desires so that I can understand Vrindavan? When shall I be very eager to study the books left by the 6 Goswamis so that I can understand the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna? The lotus feet of the 6 Goswamis are my only shelter. In constant separation from them, I remain Nanotamadam.
Bhagavan mamapi Durdaiva midrishamiha janinanuraga Svinadapi sunichena Tarorapi suhishuna Amanina manadena Kirtaniya sadahari Nadanam najanam nasundarim Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye Mama janmani janmani ishvare Bhavatad bhaktir ahoita kitvayi Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha kripayata vapata pankaja stita duli sadrishim vachintaya nayanam galashudaraya varanam gadgada hridaya gira pulakarnishitam vapukada tavanama grahane bhavishyati yugayatam namishena chakshusha pravashayatam Shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam virahena me ashlishyava padaratam parastumam adarshanam marmahata karotuva yatatatava vindatolam pato mat prananatastu saiva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Chanting, "O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them." One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor.
Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shri Shastra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Goloka Nanda Ki Jai. And all glories to the servants of Shri Shri Radha Goloka Nanda. Hari Bol.